بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. Welcome in weekly lesson from فقه المذهب الفقه الشافعي from the book الإقناع في حل ألفاظ أبي شجاع, and we still with a chapter of selling and buying كتاب البيوع. And tonight we have a special transaction in كتاب البيوع. It's called القراض. القراض, it is like مضاربة. What is مضاربة? Anyone hear about this word before? مضاربة. مضاربة. What happened in مضاربة? The owner, for example, have money and he gave this money to someone to invest this money for him in any kind of trading, and they agreed from the beginning that at the end of financial year they will the owner of money will take, for example, 70% of the profit, and the worker will take 30% of the profit. So it has to be like that. So there are conditions to make this mu'amala, this transaction, lawful. It has to be have owner of money and worker and work and profit and form and money. So for example, you cannot, according to the madhab, you cannot trade in mudaraba, for example, by your car. You cannot told him, take this my car, and you drive the car, and then at the end you will take the 30% and I take 70%. No, this is not mudaraba according to the madhab. Mudaraba has to be with money. As I said, madhab al-Shafi'i is so restricted in terms of trading. So mudaraba, again, it has to be with money. So you give your worker, for example, $100,000 and ask him to invest it in any kind of trade, you agree about it, and you give him the authority to do whatever he can do to get the profit, and at the end they calculate the loss and gain, and everyone will take his share. خلاص? So it has to be from money or gold or silver, of course, but cannot be with items, cannot be with any like cars, houses. All that is not mudaraba in this case.
Can it be the wheat and date? Because wheat and date is transferable.
Which one?
The barley.
No. Only have to be currency. Has to be either gold, silver, or notes. Okay. Also, the owner of the money has to give the permission for the worker to control spending the money by selling or buying or transferring. So he give him full authority. It's like wakala, like he is agent. Type. What happened if the worker lost the money, or something happened to the project and they lost? Does he has to give a guarantee or money back or not? Depends. If he did his effort and takes the precautions, but khalas, something out of his control, nothing to pay. But if he's careless or he didn't fulfill the requirement of the job and he do something wrong, in this case he have to pay the money. Also, it has to be explained from the beginning the share of each one. Don't leave it uncertain. Also, it has to be percentage from the profit. So you cannot say to someone, take this money and invest it, and I give you at the end $10,000. Fix it. No. It has to be percentage from the profit. This is called al-qirad or al-mudaraba. So mudaraba means that someone gives the money to the other one who invested, and then they agree about the share. This is the...
Does it go year on year? You've got to keep investing, or it can go for an unlimited time?
Yeah, unlimited. He can specify. It's unlimited until they agree to cancel. Another thing which is related to mudaraba, similar, called musaqa, watering of the land. Especially in the farm, you may bring some farmer to watering or to cultivate this land for you, and then you agree at the harvest, you share certain percent of the harvest of that. But it has to be here in two fruits only. According to the Shafii madhab, only two fruits, the date and the grape. Only these two. And the recommended one is a date, palm tree date. So if you have a palm tree date and you want someone to look after for it, yes, you can bring him, and you specify certain time. Here you have to specify certain time, and also you have to specify certain amount from the fruits. For example, third of the harvest, quarter of the harvest, and it has to be from any place. Don't say, okay, take third of this part of the land at the end of the harvest. Who knows, this land maybe did not produce, so it has to be overall land. He will take the third, for example, or quarter of the fruits. Right. This is like mudaraba as well, because you spend the money, but here is not no money. It's a palm tree date, and then you bring someone to look after for you, and then you agreed about a percentage at the end. This happened on the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he took Khaybar land. Khaybar land is the north side of Medina, about 300 kilometers from Medina, and it was occupied by the Yahud, the four tribes, Banu Qaynuqa', Banu Nadir, Banu Qurayza, and Khaybar Yahud. And when Prophet Muhammad entered this land and he took it from them, they agreed with them that they will look after for the land, and at the end they share the date or the harvest of the palm tree. And because of that, Imam Shafi'i specify the palm date tree only to be used in this kind of transaction. This has to be two parts. It means the one who owns the land and the worker or the farmer. Also, it has to be a work to do. For example, he will cultivate it for you, he water it for you, and collect the fruit for you. It has to be formed, and then it has to be specify the percentage of profit at the end of the harvest. Right. Also, another thing, it could be like mudaraba. It's called or not before mudaraba, before the other thing, we have the renting. It's similar like mudaraba, but in this case, you rent the benefit of the property. For example, you have house and you rent it to someone to use it, but you're not giving him the house. He's not own the house. And all it has to be for something has a benefit, and this benefit does not finish by using. For example, don't say to him, I will rent for you this cow for 100 years. How is it cow? How can it stay for 100 years? It has to be something can be not finished after using. Or for example, I will rent for you this house which is built from clay for 100 years. Clay, how clay house stay for 100 years? It will be dropped immediately. If rain comes or something, or storm, it will be broke. So it has to be something cannot be finished by using. So you can rent the car and you look after for it, and it has to be between two parties, the owner and the one who the tenant, and also it has to be forms, it has to be amount of renting and the benefit of the renting. And this is also could be, as Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Talaq, about if you look for someone to breastfeed your kids or children, give them their wages or their money. فَإِنْ أَرْضَعْنَ لَكُمْ فَآتُوهُنَّ أُجُورَهُنَّ. And if they breastfeed your baby for you, give them their money or their salary or their wages. This is here you hire this lady to breastfeed. You hire the benefit, which is suckle of the milk, to and give the money for that. It has to be with a certain time. Some people maybe not here. Some country they give open lease contract without limit. Means, for example, forever. He didn't specify the period of renting. This is not allowed. It has to be fixed time. Depends, for example, 10 years, 50 years, whatever. But it has to be fixed. And also it has to be determine the purposes of using of this property. For example, I use these for residential, for business, for teaching, for education. Okay, I will hire this lady to breastfeed this boy. I will hire this farmer to plant this land. You have to specify for a specific timing. But here, different than the mudaraba. Why? In mudaraba, the one that you bring to look after for the land, he will take percentage or share from the harvest. Here, no. You just give him his salary, his job, and he do not take anything from the fruits. So there's a difference here between renting. If you bring someone to or hire someone to look after for your land and give him his salary, different than if you bring someone and agree with him to look after for your land and you have share percentage of the harvest. Is different. This one is called mudaraba. The second one is called renting, normal renting or hiring. Type. Then we have what's called al-ju'ala or al-ja'ala. I explain the English because the Arabic meaning, there is no equivalent English word. Al-ju'ala means that if I lost my car, someone lost his car, and then I put an announcement that anyone found his car, he will have, for example, $10,000. This is called ju'ala. Yeah, like a prize, or what's it called in English? Reward. Yes. You have a reward for someone who found your lost item. So ju'ala or ja'ala is in the lost items. If someone lost something, he may be announced that if someone brings these items, I will give such and such. So here is different than the hiring one. The previous one, the hiring, you hire someone to do certain job and they are existed already. So you hire him to work in the land, is that correct? And the land is there, is correct? But now we hire him to find something which is not existed. Look the difference between the hiring someone to do a job in your home, your land, and here you hire him to find something has been lost. Different. So this is also permissible, and this like lost and found items. Luqata, if someone lost his items, he tried to find it by hiring someone to find him. And it has 4 conditions or 4 pillars. It has the work, means that he will search for these items, and the reward that he will get it, and the form, and the one who give him the money, or the owner of these lost items. خلاص? And this is should be the same condition like the one who sell and buy. Means he should be adult, should be mature, who should be aqil, have a mind, not a crazy type. Then we have after the ju'ala or ja'ala, but have a question here. If the person that you hired him to find your lost items and he found it, but he didn't give it to you, does he fulfill or will take this reward? No, he has to give it to you. Or if he found it but it broke it from him, does he has to give it to you? No, it has to be same condition like you have it, or something returned to you for totally. Then we have muzara'ah and mukhabara. This is different here than mudaraba. So again, what is mudaraba? I bring someone to work in my land, and at the end of the harvest, we share percentage of the harvest. This is called mudaraba. Renting, different. I hire someone to work for this land, and he take his money, nothing else, but the fruits or the harvest for me. This one is the third and fourth types, muzara'a and mukhabara. You bring someone, and asked him to cultivate it for you, but it has to be, as I said, date and what's called grape, and then will be he will take something from this land, as I said, from overall land, not from a specific way. And in this case, the owner will give him the fruit, the seeds. For example, give him the seeds, and the worker will cultivate these seeds. If the worker who brings the seeds, we call it mukhabara. So only difference between the muzara'a and mukhabara, in muzara'a, the owner provides the seeds. He will responsible to provide the seed and will pay for the seeds. But for mukhabara, no, the worker or the farmer will bring the seeds and that's it. And then at the end they will share a percentage from the land. Another thing which is reliving the died land. What the mean of died land? If you have a land, no one occupies the land, like a desert, and there is no sign of life there. In Islam, if you spend effort to dig a well and bring a water and cultivate it, this will be your own. You own that. Yes, in Islam you can do that. If this land not belongs to any previous Muslim, this is no one owned before, this is free land, and you have to be Muslim to own this land. So again, there are two conditions. This land never owned by Muslim, and also it has to be the one who do that is a Muslim. And in this case, there is some condition as well. Even if he's a Muslim and young boy, also he has the authority to take this land, and this land has to be free land. It never have any owner before, which is very hard to find here this now, yeah, especially in Muslim country. Also, there is a condition here: if you dig the well and the water came, and this water, around the water there is like a grasses, and then some shepherd came with their camels or with cow, and in order to go to eat from these grasses, they have to walk through this well, and maybe they use the water of this well. Islamically, you are not allowed to prevent them to pass through this well, because this is grasses, no one own it. Allah produced it, it's no one own it, so don't stop someone to use it. So if you stop them to pass through the water, you can say, oh, this is my well, I already dig it by myself, this is my own. No, because if you prevent them from passing through this well, أي شخص نعم أي شخص ما ينفعش تمنعه, you cannot stop him. So you have now the condition: someone found a land, free land, that belongs to anyone, and he digged a well and produce water, and then after there is a grasses, the trees comes around this well. This is not belongs to anyone. And then someone, a shepherd person with his camels, with his cows, want to eat, want to give them or يعني let them eat from these grasses, but it has to pass through this well. And then as an owner, you can't stop them, you cannot prevent them from passing. Don't say, this is my well, I already relive this land by myself. Because if you did that, they will prevent them to go through the land to eat from the grasses, which is not belongs to you. The same way, maybe someone do a trick by saying, okay, if you want to go and eat from these grasses and يعني herbs, you have to pay for the money of the well, because you, of course, you will pass through the well and maybe the camel drink from the well. You have to buy, give money. Also, it's not allowed. So no one has the authority or have the permission, or it's haram to sell the money in this case. So you cannot sell this money because this is fadl, this is extra than you need. So you have a will. So what do you loss if you give him money, water. In this case, it is not permissible to sell the money, the water of the well, because it will not finish. But if you have established a very reservoir, small reservoir, and very limited water, in this case, it is if you give it to him, in this case you will lose the money, lose the water. In this case, you can sell the water for him if you want, because this is a limited water that you have. But if you already have a spring or a well, it's not allowed to sell it. And by the way, you have here mas'ala here, the water that we maybe poured it from the springs, spring waters, for example. This company dig, for example, the well and such, and then based on this hadith, it's not allowed to sell the water like that. Selling the water, unless you spend money and you're not selling the water, you're selling the effort that you did to reach this water. But if there is no effort, no cost for this water, it's not allowed to sell it. Water is free, has to be free for everyone, because this is Allah's grants for everyone. So no one has to sell the extra money that he has. So that I'm saying, if this water bottle, because the water bottle different. The water bottle, they spend money to take the water from the well, and they dispense it in a containers, and they have worker. So they selling this cost, not the money, not the water. But if the water, no cost in having this water, you cannot sell it. But if they spend a cost, like they have a factory, they bring the water for the factory, and they dispense it in what's called bottles, and they have cost. In this case, they sell this cost, but water itself, you cannot sell the water.
If you collect rainwater in a tank, would it be permissible to sell?
Okay, if in this case, different here. The water in the well, you cannot sell it from the well. But if you have it in a container and then you distribute it different way, you can sell it, because it is no longer in a well. In this case, you take the money for your efforts that you bring the water to them. This is different here. But if you go to the well and then ask the owner of the well, can I take water? He told you $10. No, he cannot do that, because the water is there. You don't spend any effort to have the water.
That's what I mean, with rainwater, you're not doing any effort. Allah brings the rain.
Yes, that's it. Yes. If you spend money to dispense it in bottles, in boxes, and this is different here. So far, alhamdulillah, we finish 2/3 of the fiqh. Alhamdulillah, tonight is the last lesson of the trading chapters. Before that, alhamdulillah, we finish the ibadat, the salah, the zakah, and then we have 1/3 of the fiqh, which will have the miras, the inheritance rule. Very important to know the inheritance rule. And also we have the Islamic hudud, the Islamic retaliation and Islamic banishment. We explain that in details. And also we have the qada, the judgment in Islam. How is the Islamic system, the court, Islamic court, how it works, and what is the condition of that. To finish this book, inshallah, soon, inshallah. Alhamdulillah, all these lectures is uploaded on the Facebook as well as on the YouTube channel. So if you miss any one of those, you will find it series from 1 up to now, I think 30. There are 30, mashallah, lessons since we start this book, and hopefully we finish the rest, inshallah, soon, inshallah. Any question? Inshallah, see tomorrow, inshallah, in Darul Salihin, inshallah. Short lesson tonight.